Hello again, Don Z. I am really excited about doing this video today, which is kind of funny to say because it's about books and reading, and I didn't start out very excited about reading as a kid. I actually hated reading. I used to be notorious for going into the library and getting like picture books or Garfield, which was like comics, or I would get things on origami or martial arts. Those were my things. And I was actually in a program, I think in like 4th grade, I was in RIP, which is a reading improvement program, because I was kind of a slow reader. I still am, actually. I'm fairly slow. I wish I could read faster. Like I see some of those speed readers, I can do the world record, 26 pages a minute or something like that. No, my problem is I still internalize or vocalize the words in my head, so I'm still pretty slow. But where I lack in speed, I make up for consistency. I read every day. Actually, at any given moment, I'm probably reading like 4 or 5 different books, mainly because some books are better to read in the morning. Things are like motivational, and other books are better to read at night, because you don't want to be too motivated at night, otherwise you don't go to sleep. You're just thinking about new ideas and things. So I typically read like fiction. I like Stephen King, or like biographies are pretty good too. That's a tip from Tim Ferriss, which is good, because he said he gets weird nightmares when he reads Stephen King at night. And it can be true too, but I don't mind them. Anyway, so I want to talk to you about some books. Now these books are some that I've had for quite a while. I have read literally hundreds of books on sales and self-improvement and magic books and you name it. I've read a lot of different types of books, but these books in particular, I make sure I always have. I keep them, and if I were to ever lose them, or I try not to loan them out anymore. I've had quite a few people not return books that I loan out. You know who you are. So get collateral, that's my tip. But these books, if I were to lose them or loan them out and not get them returned, I would make sure that they're always in my library. I don't know how many are here, probably about 12 books here. So again, this video might be a little longer than my normal videos, but so please bear with me. Now, I already mentioned that I read a lot of sales books. I found out that reading something motivational or sales-oriented helped me get motivated to sell. So yeah, these are books that I recommend. The first one, yeah, this is kind of, I don't know when I got this book. I was probably 16 or 17. I got it from like a thrift store. So it's pretty beaten up. It's on this side, it's pretty sun bleached and faded. But this is pretty much Think and Grow Rich. It says the Think and Grow Rich action pack. It actually has some extra stuff involved with this, but essentially this is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Now, this is probably the oldest book I have, one of the first ones I've read. It's a really easy read. Napoleon Hill is a great author as far as making it simple and easy to follow, for one. I think the backstory of this is he actually was commissioned by Andrew Carnegie, the steel tycoon, to do a kind of a course on success and becoming wealthy. And this is, I think it's either this one or the next book I'm talking about is what he came up with. It's kind of both. They kind of repeat each other a little bit. But anyway, this has a lot of different steps on becoming rich, but the secret to this book is really, this is on how to get anything in life. Anything you want is basically, you use these same steps. And it's kind of a secret in life. This is why I've always kept this around, because it's not just about making money, even though that's what the title implies. It's really about getting anything you want in life. So it's really good stories, good lessons in here. It's definitely something you want to keep picking up over and over again and kind of internalize. Make sure you read it all. You see here I got stuff highlighted, and I've read this many times. And definitely get it. If you don't have it in your library, get it. By the way, I'm going to have links down below. You can find all these books down there, and you can get them that way. It's the easiest way. Another book. First of all, I think this book was written in the 1940s. Am I wrong? It does not say. This one says 68. But I think that was like a reprint. This other book, also by Napoleon Hill, The Laws of Success. And like I said, Napoleon Hill, this was actually written in 1928. So it's old information, and a lot of the references, you have to take that into account. That is, it's the beginning of the 19th century. And so the examples are dated, but all the information in this still is relevant today, I have to say. It has 15 different steps, actually 16 if you include the mastermind. And each step is really important in success in life. Again, like this is not just success in the terms of riches or wealth. This could be success in business or success in relationships or parenthood. This is why it's on my list as well. So both these together, I would actually read this one first and this one second. I know it's kind of a big book, but it's one of those books that you keep going back to, and you kind of want to read it more than once anyway. Two great books. Like I said, if you don't have them, get them. Now, I was talking about sales. I've done a lot of sales in my life. I did door-to-door for like 9 years in Northern California. I first started when I was 12 doing door-to-door newspaper subscriptions, and did that for about 2.5 years. And then I started doing Kirby vacuum cleaners. So I did door-to-door vacuum cleaner sales, which is hard. And like I said, I found at that time, Anthony Robbins had a lot of infomercials on, he had a tape program called Personal Power, and I got that. Great program. If you guys don't have it, I always recommend Tony Robbins. If you can I don't think he does the same program. I think he has like a Personal Power 2, and then I Get the Edge. He has a lot of different programs. So I still have the old tape program, and I still, to this day, I still play it like when I'm working out. I have a cassette player. I don't know, what's a cassette? But still, just like that other book, it's kind of dated. He references some commercials that everybody knew back then, but nobody knows nowadays. Like how do you spell relief? And some Michael Jackson references and stuff. So there's a lot of dated stuff, but all the information is still relevant. And these two books are actually, they kind of follow along the tape program. His first book was Unlimited Power. Unlimited Power by Anthony Robbins. This has a lot of NLP stuff in it, state management, how to use transformational vocabulary, stuff like that. And then another one, it was Awaken the Giant Within. And both of these together, I think, are worthwhile. Like I said, keep them just for reference, and they go along with the tape program. Not exactly along with it, but all the information that is on these books are in the tape program as well. So if that way, if you want to see it written out, a lot of the graphs and the lists. Tony Robbins is really big on lists, step-by-step stuff. So that stuff is all in here. so definitely good. Also by Tony Robbins, since we're on the subject of success and money, he wrote a book a few years back called Money, Master the Game. And this has all you need to know about money, not only on how to make it, but how to manage it and how to make it work for you, kind of make it a money machine so you get more passive income and really create wealth. So these are all must-reads, really. That's it for the Tony Robbins. Now, growing up, you guys know I'm a magician, so of course I read a lot of magic books, and I got a lot of people say, well, how do you do magic, and how do you learn your magic? I've done a lot of learning through DVDs, but you first started out with magic books. Now, I have hundreds of magic books. To actually narrow down which ones to recommend is really hard. But to start out, to begin with, these are a couple books that I would recommend. This one is actually a collection. If you ask any magician what books you should have, they would say Tarbell. It's actually like an 8-volume series. It's a lot of books. And they originally were sent out as lessons that you would go through. This is actually a collection of them all. This is a big book. You know, when they say that's the oldest trick in the book, this is the book they're talking about. This has just about every trick in the book. And great stuff from card magic to mentalism, coin magic, silk magic, rope magic, all that kind of stuff. Again, it's kind of dated. Like cigarette magic. A lot of people don't do cigarette magic anymore. But a lot of the principles that is in this book, you can convert or adapt to modern day technology and modern day things. So definitely you need that in your library to be a magician. Along the same lines, this is another great beginner book. It's Mark Wilson's Complete Course in Magic. And this one I actually really like because it has a lot of great pictures, step by step. Again, the same thing, has a lot of variety as far as the different types of magic. There's everything from card magic to, as I saw, there's some match magic and some rope magic you see here. So again, kind of a big book, but that's a good thing. It has a lot of different tricks. And the good thing about buying a book on magic, sure, you can go to a magic store or go online and find a magic store and buy some sort of trick, maybe it has a gimmick, and you learn how to do that trick. The problem is if you lose it, or if you break it, or if it just wears out through time, you have to buy another one. The good thing about magic knowledge, the more tricks you know, the less stuff you need. And especially I'd rather spend, $20, $50 on a book and have, a whole lot of material to use rather than, just have that one trick that can break, right? So I always recommend getting books or if nothing else. The DVDs are great because they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, a video is worth 1,000 pictures. So I learned more visually. Some of the older books like the Royal Road to Card Magic or Erdney's Expert at the Card Table, they didn't have a whole lot of pictures. They would explain how to hold a deck. And they would say, I'm trying to get one. Hold the deck in mechanic's grip with the index finger on the top, the thumb on the left side, the 3 other fingers on the right side. So that would be like that. So you'd have to. It's kind of technical. You're like, what? It says with the right hand, grab the top card with your thumb and index finger on the right upper corner usually. So it took a long time. Whereas a video, you can learn a lot faster. But we're talking about books right now. So again, these 2 books are definitely a good start. Maybe I'll do another video specifically on these subjects like magic, and I'll show you a lot more books that I would recommend, things like the 13 Steps. Anyway, now, these next two books talk about things I wish I knew when I was younger. These two books are about pickup, about relationships, and because everybody's looking for connection or love. Otherwise, you just you'll be lonely. When I was a kid, I was pretty shy. I had to force myself to do the door-to-door stuff. I was very outgoing, and the approach was really difficult. If you guys knew me in middle school, I just kind of kept to myself. I felt that even though I wasn't really ugly, I was kind of skinny and tall, but I'd rather just be quiet than open my mouth and make myself a fool, right? So that's what made me shy. I wasn't good at talking to girls at all, and because of which I only had a few girlfriends, like in junior high and high school. A lot of times it was because they approached me, or they shared their intentions, not the other way around, really. Anyway, so I found out with the magic, it did give me a tool to give me a reason to go talk to girls, and it was something to hide behind, and got me out of my shell. It was a really good tool. But I came across some really good information. There's this book right here called The Game, Penetrating the Secret Society of Pickup Artists by Neil Strauss. Now, Neil Strauss is a great author. He, again, like Napoleon Hill, has made it very easy to read. He does this more of in a story form. I believe he says this is all true. He talks about himself mostly, and then his journey in the pickup world, meeting mystery, which I'll talk about here too. But this really isn't just like a textbook. This is more of a story with some great characters and some good information in there too. I don't know if you can see that I have some stuff highlighted too. So he kind of slips in the knowledge or the tips within the story, which is good. So you can see it kind of looks like a Bible. Some people say this is the Bible of the pickup. So definitely, it's not that much money. $30, I think, 35. Definitely would get that. Now it talks about him meeting mystery. Mystery, you might know from, I think it was the mid-2000s. He had a reality show called The Pickup Artist. Wears a funny hat. It's called peacocking. It's basically a way for you to stand out above the crowd. I got my hat. So he actually wrote a book too called The Mystery Method. And this is really, mystery is really a genius as far as his thinking on the subject. He was a magician, and he found out that while he was performing, they're called social dynamics, that being a magician, you have to approach a crowd, you have to be able to kind of manage the little group and do routines. For magicians doing tricks, he found out that you can take away the tricks and still do routines, tell stories, this and that, and still be able to do the social dynamic part of it. And there's other little tips on how to to talk to girls, pretty much. By the way, I don't want to be sexist. You can also use this on the other side of the coin if you want to pick up guys, or use this kind of stuff as a defense, right? So there are guys out there using these kind of techniques. They all work. And if you know what they are, you can kind of defend yourself against them, so that way you don't kind of fall in the trap. Now, this isn't, now I'm on that point, this really isn't kind of like a trick. They can't, like, you can't force somebody into doing something that they don't want to do. If I had to say anything about these books, they're really about self-improvement, just like the other books, because you have to improve yourself in order to be able to attract a quality mate, right? So it's really about building your self-confidence, building your skills, building your appearance, stuff like that. So it's basically working on yourself first. So definitely 2 books that I wish I had when I was like 12 years old. They didn't exist back then, but in the same, I still wish I had them. Again, if you guys want to buy these books, you can get the links down below. And pretty much this is about wealth, happiness, love, and last one kind of about health. And these are actually 4 books that I have. I told you already, I used to get a lot of martial arts books. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be into martial arts, but my mother always said she didn't have enough money, despite always having a pack of cigarettes every day. But to be fair, I wanted to be in everything. I wanted to be in Boy Scouts. I wanted to be in music and martial arts and soccer, you name it. If I were to do all the extra activities, I would have made it or broke. But so I ended up having to find different ways to learn how to do martial arts. Again, I've read hundreds of different books. These are just the books that I make sure that I always have. This one you may have heard of Bruce Lee. This is Tao of Jeet. Tao of Jeet. And this is more just a philosophy. It does have a lot of techniques and how to do martial arts, but the Jeet Kune Do is not really a style of martial arts. It was more of a philosophy on how to learn and practice martial arts, and you can kind of use this philosophy on all the different styles, whether you do karate, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, anything. He was more into just learning everything, right? So definitely is like a core. This is what you have to get, and by doing that philosophy, I practiced everything I could get my hands on. Stuff that I really liked was Aikido and Hapkido, and they had certain moves in there that really interested me. I was always in the search for like what's the best move. I wanted like the magic moves that nobody really knew, that was just kind of obscure and very proficient and efficient. And the Aikido has some like throws and some arm bars and some moves that are really interested in me. And I came across this book called Shaolin Chin Na. Now Chin Na is actually just the study of all those type of moves: arm bars, locks. Chin Na means to seize and to control. And you can kind of see a picture there of one of the crazy moves. And it goes everywhere from finger Chin Na, wrist, elbow, arm, to neck and legs. There's 72 different techniques that you can use in different combinations. And when I found this book actually has a thing called Dim Mak, which is the touch of death, which I don't want to really get into that. But this book actually is a newer book because I made the mistake of loaning this one out to somebody and they never returned it, Russell. So I had to buy a new one. But make sure that I pretty much memorized this whole book. This is from Dr. Yang. And all 3 of these books are from him. This one I would read this one first. This is the Analysis of Shaolin Chin Na Instructor's Manual. It kind of has the same stuff, although it's grouped a little bit differently. It also has some great training exercises. Here you see him breaking branches with his fingers to strengthen the hands. And last but not least is the comprehensive applications of Shaolin Chin Na. And like I said, this is basically what I specialized in. So I I was really fell in love with all the techniques. And Chin Na is actually in most martial arts as well. They usually have a handful of them. Hapkido had the 15 handshakes, if you guys are familiar with that. Those were all Chin Na. Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu has a lot of them, a lot of grappling, the arm bars and the kimuras and the chokes and stuff like that. Those are all just pretty much Chin Na. So these books are just a specialization of that part of martial arts that I just kind of got obsessed with. So these are always in my library. I probably read these weekly, if not every other day. Like I said, not only for martial arts, but for health reasons, good exercise. There's some good like training techniques and stuff like that in there too, for strength training and endurance and flexibility and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, like I said, this is kind of a long video. Apologize. Those are about 12 of my favorite books, ones that I recommend that everybody should have in their library. Like I said, if I were to lose one or loan one out, I would replace it. Out of the hundreds of books I have books all over the place. In just about every room, if you look around, there's probably a book somewhere. But I hope that you guys can use this information. Again, if you guys want to, if you want to find them, I've already done most of the work. I put some links down below so you can find them. But anyway, I hope that it's some use to you guys. It's a lot of reading, so you guys got a lot of homework. So I'll let you guys get to it. If you're not already subscribed, please click the subscribe button below, and I'm going to have more content and more videos to share with you. So hope you have a good rest of the day.